Well, if you're like me, then your heart probably goes out to the countless number of stray, abandoned, and abused pets that you see and you hear about every day. They are homeless, hurt, and need someone to care for them. According to Best Friends Animal Society, approximately 5 million of these cats and dogs are euthanized every year. In today's My Pet series, Holly Sizemore of Best Friends Animal Society reveals what we can do to make sure there are no more homeless pets out there. Good morning to you, Holly, and thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning, Danielle. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you because I absolutely love what you're doing. I know you're with Best Friends Animal Society. That's a nonprofit organization with a sanctuary in Kanab, Utah, outreach programs for communities all across the country. And the goal really of these communities is to help and support animals and make sure there are no more homeless and abandoned pets out there. But why is this such a big problem?
You know, sadly, you can trace it back to three main reasons. People aren't spaying and neutering their pets. It's really a key component of pet homelessness. People are choosing to buy an animal from a pet store that is supplied by puppy mills or commercial breeders. And sadly, sometimes people abandon their pets due to, hard economic times or their own personal situations.
And I think when people think about homeless pets, they mostly think about cats and they think about dogs. But what other animals end up homeless?
Any animal that can be a pet sadly can end up homeless. So you see a lot of rabbits, pot-bellied pigs, horses, parrots. So the problem is growing in America, but the bulk of the homeless pet problem is with dogs and cats.
When you think of the pot-bellied pigs, they're, oh, cute little pet, we'll get a pot-bellied pig, or the rabbits for Easter and things like that, and the families realize they can't take care of them. So just a sad situation. I want to tell you about this pet adoption survey that came out last year. It's by the Ipsos marketing firm, and it found out that 42% of the people surveyed who recently got a pet did no prior research, formal or informal. And so, again, when we talk about pets and the pot-bellied pigs, for example, really education is a big key in all of this, is it not?
Education is key. For instance, with the pot-bellied pigs, they do grow up to be large animals, despite what anyone may tell you. And the people who sell these want you to believe otherwise. Now, with dogs and cats, there are so many wonderful companion animals just waiting for people at their local shelter. And local shelters all across the country have adoption coordinators that are trained in helping match up a perfect pet with your family. Also, there are nonprofit rescue groups that rescue animals, and they use volunteer temporary foster homes, so wonderful families who keep an animal temporarily until a permanent home can be found. And these are a great way to find an adoptable pet because they're in a home setting. The foster family knows what the animal is like and can help you find what you're looking for.
Well, I think it's interesting because we may have some viewers out there watching right now who are saying, well, this doesn't affect me. I don't have a pet. But I think the reality of this is that even in the grand scheme of things, homeless pets, sheltered pets can affect us all, whether or not we actually have a pet ourselves.
It really can. In terms of being a taxpayer, it costs about $120, sometimes more, to house an animal at a shelter. And that cost is picked up by the taxpayer. If animals are abandoned, dogs can run into the street, creating a public health and safety hazard. So really, pet homelessness does affect us all.
And you mentioned before about educating yourself, which I think is so important in terms of the type of pet that you and your family can care for as a solution. What are some of the other ways to really help stop this needless killing of pets?
Doing a little research online is great. Finding what animals out there is so easy these days. You can go online. There's some great websites like petfinder.com. You can type in your zip code and up pops all the adoptable animals in your area. And then before you go to adopt, do a little research about what pet might be best for your family. For instance, puppies are wonderful, right? But they're like young children in that they need a little extra care and attention. And so do a little research about what it entails to care for a puppy. And you may just decide, well, maybe an older dog is right for us. You don't have to go through the house training issues and things like that. So just do a little research, find out what it takes to take care of a pet day to day.
Well, that same survey that I mentioned there at the top also talked about a lot of people don't even get their animals spayed or neutered, which I think is absolutely incredible. We just got our cat neutered recently. Some findings where the pet is too young, the procedure is too expensive, concerned about the impact on the pet's personality. What would you say very quickly to address those concerns?
What we have found is so many people want to get their pets spayed and neutered, but they can't because they simply can't afford it. What's great about what's happening across the country these days is a lot of nonprofits are providing low-cost, high-quality spay-neuter. And so those barriers that people often encounter in getting their pets fixed are gone. You can do it for low cost, sometimes even no cost if you qualify. And in terms of it being, bad for the pet, it's actually very much a health benefit for that pet. Many cancers are just eliminated once you get your pet spayed and neutered, and it's much better for the pet.
Well, I'll tell you, Mittens wasn't himself for about a week. But then after the week, he was like, I love you again. He was a little mad at us the first week, but he recovered just fine. And so I'm aware of it. What can we do in our own communities to raise awareness and actually save more animals' lives?
There's so much people can do, even if they don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Spaying and neutering, of course, is the #1. Adopting a pet from a local shelter or a rescue group, and then learning more about animal welfare in your community. A great way to learn about what's happening all across the country is to go to bestfriends.org, our website. We also have a magazine that is a great resource to teach you more about the animal welfare movement and pets in general.
Wonderful. Well, terrific insight. Thank you so much for sharing it with us on the show this morning.
Oh, thanks for having me, Danielle. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And for more information about how you can help stop pet homelessness, as well as volunteer with Best Friends Animal Society, simply go to the website bestfriends.org.